Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. This is the review, the best geek talk show on the interwebs. So thank you for joining us, everybody. We got a great show for you tonight. We have some great people on the panel as well.
Including me, if some of you might not recognize me.
And Tabitha is back, everybody. Tabitha's back. Back in business. That's it. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
You're welcome, Dan. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, of course. We are going to be talking about a little bit of, Star Wars. We're going to talk about a little bit of, maybe throw in some She-Hulk. Maybe throw in some Rangs of Power.
Louder than Rangs.
Yeah, that's right. And the first thing we probably talk about is the Lord of the Rings, an overview of what we reviewed here on Inside the Booth. So sit back, relax, everybody, get your popcorn ready. Oh, look, I forgot to do this.
Lights, camera, action.
We gotta get some lights on over here.
That's right.
Make it look like it's lively.
That's popping. Trying to look like Vegas over here.
That's it. You got green in the background there. I don't know what that's for. Goblins and ghouls and She-Hulk.
Thought it was pretty. I didn't even think I typically have blue. Thought I'd mixed it up. Now I'm throwing Dan off. Look what happens when I show up again. I'm just messing the whole system up.
So welcome to everybody who just is watching. We got Lisa H. We got the Rogue Attraction. And we got JT right now. And we got the Galaxy Garage. So welcome, guys. For those of you who have said hello, those of you who are lurking, thank you for lurking and watching. We see you. Yes, we do see you.
JT says, I thought Tabitha was gender swapped by Ryan. I feel a little crushed and hurt. What did Dan say? Dan made up the rule, JT. Got only to say nice things, right? Okay.
That's it. Well, that's for the chat section there. For a week, the rest of the week, I should say. So
so the rules don't count here.
It should count here, but so let's welcome some of our panelists. Tonight we have the maker, Joshua Watts.
Hey everybody.
Now he would be the swap to Tabitha.
I mean, some people have told us we kind of look alike.
And you drink at the same time.
Yes, but in opposite directions.
Sit down at the same time.
I was going to try to do that. I couldn't swap hands fast.
So, Josh, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
Doing good, and I'm glad to be on right now.
Because it's so difficult to get on when you're in outer space.
That's it. Why don't you tell some people about your channel a little bit?
Well, yeah, sure. So, I'm pretty much known as the maker. I just like to make different things. A lot of it right now is Star Wars, but some of it is also going to be stuff that I do around the house. I'm finishing up a video. Actually, I just did it spur of the moment because I'm behind on one of the videos I was going to do. So I was working on a work table where I do pretty much all my stuff at, but it's taking too long to get it done. So instead, what I did, I made a small panel that I got inspired by two YouTubers of Props and Villainy and Docky Bay 327. Mm-hmm. And I made a panel, and it's going to go between the stack of drawers that's going to be on my work table.
You put your underwear on your work table?
Of course, always. A stack of them.
A stack of underwear.
Beautiful. Tonight, we also have your favorite, who's been with us the whole month, this month, Ryan.
See, that is the reason I had to come back early or whatever, because this guy was on the channel way too much. Way too much.
He was starting to become the new face.
He was starting to become the new Tabitha, and I just couldn't let that happen.
Well, first off, I don't have well, we'll say that. Secondly,
That's right. You do not have luscious hair like me. You're right. You can say it.
You're very right, but I have a lovely hat, which is nicer than yours. Because you don't have a hat.
I was thinking about mine, but okay.
I'll go get.
Go get a hat. Go. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was nice to fill in. Obviously, of course, you were taking care of two very cute but probably very obnoxious little dogs. What were they? What like 8 weeks, 9 weeks old?
No, they're actually closer to 3 months now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're still a giant pain in the butt.
They're just tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, Yorkies are cute. So yeah, no, it was completely understandable, and it was fun to. Really, you went away already? Are you kidding me? You've been back for 6 minutes, and you've already. Get her out! Get her out! Just kidding.
All right, so Ryan, what do you do on your channel? Let everybody know.
Okay, well, you know what? We're just
getting her hat on.
Well, my hat signed by Drunk 3PO, by the way.
Okay, well,
that's right. I name dropped.
Yeah, that's cheating, by the way. It's beyond cheating. It's.
Let me flex.
Is he on your channel right now? No, anyway, okay.
on my channel.
Okay, so what we do is on Legion Talk. This is the only one I want to promote. Is obviously it's a panel show with obviously 3 of us have been on it, the next guest has been on it too. You know, obviously Dan and Tabitha have been our legacy members. I love using that term. They helped pioneer it, and they can't always make it, but at the same time, though, we love having them on. So that is Legion Talk. It is Friday night's Royal Rumble. So, and it's good to see Josh again, because the last time I was here, there were some jokes, and Tabitha didn't really appreciate them, but at least the guys did.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are not allowed to still be mad about that, by the way.
I have Jesus living inside. I forgive all the time.
Matt Vader says signed. Whoa. I mean, you're just defacing a good hat.
But look, it's got a smiley face on it. Yeah. He took like 30 seconds to sign his own name. What in the world?
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
It's a challenge.
That's a long time.
It's hard to spell 3 letters.
Yeah. All right. So our next guest, some of you know him, some of you love him. And he's got one of the greatest voices ever. Joker voice.
Hello. And in keeping with the spirit of saying something nice, Dan, you are incredibly brilliant for bringing me on.
Oh, well, thank you. I know.
Nice.
I try to be so smart, you know. I try to be the smartest one here.
Well, that's why you brought me on, to be the smartest one here.
That's it. So you are a first timer on Inside the Booth.
I am. I am. So be gentle.
Yes.
Be gentle, Ryan.
As long as you're gentle, we'll be gentle.
Dude, I didn't know that. Like I've had you on Friday night so many times. I didn't know this is your first time on Inside the Booth.
Yeah,
I feel we should give him a warm welcome, like our motto.
I wish we had a.
Should we do the G4 TV where we go?
He's not Frost, man, but we want to encourage Joker for being here.
Never give up.
Thank you for coming.
Never surrender.
Appreciate you. Well,
yes, and because this is your channel, I will not be Frost. So there you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
You're much prettier than she is.
She's such a lovely person, though. I don't understand.
I mean, people love Satan too. That's fine.
It's not wrong. He's not wrong there.
That's true. He's not wrong, but unfortunately, those people will probably go in a place that they don't want to be when they get there. Anyways, anyways.
Thanks, Vader.
Yeah, Matt Vader's great.
Joker, tell us what you do on your channel, real quick.
Oh, let's see. If you want a unbiased, non-shill review of TV and movies, come and see me. I will tell you stuff I like. I'll tell you stuff I don't like. And generally, there's not a lot to like right now inside of Hollywood. So you get an honest take.
There you go.
Okay.
Awesome. Next,
I can also vouch for that too. As him being on Friday night.
Nobody asked you, Ryan.
I'm just trying to help my friend. What the heck, woman? Wow. All right.
I was going to say this after our next guest, but
subscribe-
everybody's
Oh, that's right. We have another
everybody's
guest.
links are in the description below. Even our next guest.
Even Ryan's.
Our next guest is
I
brand
followed him on
new
YouTube
to
and-
the
and
Twitter and YouTube world. He is
Twitter.
doing
God.
movie reviews.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Another reason why we invited him. I don't know how I found him, but I decided why not give this guy a chance. This guy is Norm E Reviews. Welcome.
Yay! That's pretty
Thank you.
together. I feel it. I feel it.
Woo!
Thank you. I can beat Joker voice. This is actually my first time here and on any live stream ever. So
I
So,
should have. I should have
very,
said
be
never
very
give
gentle
up,
here. Okay?
never surrender for you. But you know,
Okay.
I mean, moments passed. I guess. I mean, I
Yeah.
could. You know, we could. I could give you this.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it, okay?
So, Normie, you got one job. Just do it well.
Okay.
Be a panelist. Can you do that?
I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But
Oh, I believe in
We'll
you.
see.
I
Okay.
believe in you.
I'm glad someone does.
So far,
close
you're off to a
optimism.
great start.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
here, so that already counts as a gold star.
Somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It is somewhere.
Oh, we got a broken YouTube. He says the show is not showing up as live on the
Hold on.
side.
I'll take a look.
Is YouTube broke?
I don't
Yeah,
know if
all
YouTube
those
is borked
pictures
or
from-
not, but we might be.
Yep.
might be
No,
borked.
you're showing up on my Legion Talk channel. I'll check.
It
one
might
of
be
my.
your YouTube that's broked.
I'll
Borked.
check Legion Wire. It is not shown in the top.
I have it.
Anyways, so Norm, tell
Yes.
us what you do on your channel.
So I'm just
I mean,
doing movie reviews right now. The first one I did was The Birds, the old like 1960s version. That was just that was just something I'd always wanted to see and kind of hadn't seen it before. So that was the first one.
I know a guy who likes birds too.
Yes, yes, you do. And then I did 13 Lives, the Ron Howard movie on Amazon, and then I just dropped a review
For some reason,
Don't Worry,
the
Darling.
Batman more than those.
So just kind of trying out my hand at doing movie reviews.
And he does a
Sweet.
good job. I can
Yes,
vouch
he does.
for
Thank you.
it, and I think Dan can as well. Like I really enjoyed his review on 13 Lives.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome, Norm E.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like us to call you Norm E or just Norm?
Norm's fine.
No!
Yes. 'Cause then you can do that, right? Yeah.
All right. So tonight we will start off with talking about this last month's Lord of the Rings, all the stuff that we reviewed already, and Joker's gonna go to sleep over there. Wake up!
Ain't nobody going to sleep on Lord of the Rings. There's a difference
So-
between the Rings of Power and Lord of the Rings.
That's right. So, so I guess a quick overview would be asking everybody in the panel. I'll tell you who goes first or whatever. Which Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings, is your favorite? You can even throw in some of the cartoons instead. And then we'll talk about Rings of Power after telling us what your favorites are. All right. We will start with Tabitha. So she wasn't here all month.
I know, right? The time that I decide to take off is the month that we decide to talk about one of my absolute favorite franchises. What a dinkus I am. But anyway, gosh, that's really hard. When I tell people, when they ask me, what's one of your favorite movies? I typically just say The Lord of the Rings because I don't think of it as 3 separate films. I think of it as just one. But if I had to choose, it would be The Fellowship of the Ring, just because I love a great beginning with an absolute wonderful cliffhanger to lead you on. And I love the merging of the Fellowship, getting to know the characters. And I like that, I like the creepy element that rises, as it goes on and on in the franchise. you know, you're going to have your scary characters that pop up here and there, but this is a nice introduction to that. So it really just gets you, you know, and I saw this in theaters when it came out. So I saw all of them in the theater when they first came out, but this one was just like very special to me because I think it's one of the first serious films I'd ever seen in the theater. And so I would have to go with The Fellowship.
Nice. Good one. And we have Achilles Jones watching us. Hello. Thanks for showing up.
Hi.
Okay.
Just for the record, Tabitha seeing that in the theaters shows how old she is, by the way.
This is true.
What does that mean, Ryan?
What
I've
does that
seen
mean?
the first.
Right? What are you insinuating?
Yeah,
man?
what are you saying? Fellowship of the Rings, I saw in theaters.
So
So did I.
And I was a bit older than Tabitha.
That
at
means
the
we're
time,
old.
so.
Doesn't mean
Yes,
I'm
we're old.
old.
I like how Joker's looking my direction. That's funny. I didn't see that till now. I mean, I was blamed for being the troublemaker already, so I got to be the troublemaker. I mean, let's be honest.
I was told to not behave, so
I didn't know that you hadn't been on the channel before. JT told me to behave before.
Don't bring JT into this.
Yeah, because
he's
JT's
good
a
people.
jerk.
Okay,
No, he's a
Look,
jerk.
He has the best bread in the world. Leave him alone.
He has coiffed hair and a coiffed beard, and he's a jerk.
But
Okay, now you got to
Anyway.
say two nice things about him
right.
before we keep going.
He's got coiffed hair and a
Compensation.
coiffed beard.
I guess it depends on who you are.
All right, Josh Watts, what's your favorite Star? I was going to say Star Wars. Lord of the Rings.
So I tend to agree with it's hard to go ahead and pick because it's like it just goes so well. But I also I think it's the first one is my favorite because it does add a lot. There's a lot of iconic music in it, but then again, I think probably my favorite music out of the whole thing is probably that of the Rohirrim. I just love the music for that one, but I love the movie as far as like because you know it's the whole introduction of almost all the characters. The other ones are kind of like they're important characters, but they're secondary to a degree. But I do love the first one. It just really sets the tone for how the movie is going to play out, and I don't know, it's just so captivating. And when I mean, I've read the books before it came out in theaters, and but when I was watching it for the first time, I was so engrossed in the Fellowship of the Ring. When the end credits came, I was like, no.
We were in the theater together, by the way. So we were both like,
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
That's not how the book ends.
Right.
So,
but yeah, I think it was the first one that is for me as well.
all right. Sounds good. Normie, how about you? Same.
I gotta say the same thing. I didn't read the books or anything, so that was really my first experience with that whole world and everything in it. So yeah, I'd have to go with Fellowship too.
Sweet. All right, that was simple and short. Joker voice.
Easy enough.
well, not to ever be accused of being loquacious or verbose.
Nice.
He's going to take my
Nice
time.
word drop.
he's going to take your time. Exactly.
Basically. I also remember in theaters the Lord of the Ring trilogy. I'm also old enough. I'm probably older than all y'all on here. I remember the Hobbit cartoon, the Lord of the Rings cartoon.
Seen them. Yep.
And it's really hard to separate one. I'm kind of like Tabitha. I'm kind of like Tabitha on this because there's such a complete story that it's hard to differentiate one of them. If I would have to pick one, I would go with Return of the King because of the emotional satisfaction that you get from it. And just another thing about Lord of the Rings, I mean, it gets compared with the other great trilogies of our time. The only trilogy where every installment was nominated for Best Picture Oscar. And Return of the King is the second sequel to ever win Best Picture Oscar. So hats
There you
off
have
to
Nice.
off to Mr. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Good. And
Nice.
Ryan.
Just to add to what Joker said, and that would be back when Hollywood actually had good taste, by the way. And awards actually meant something. So the Lord of the Rings trilogy is unmatched by, I would say, probably anything in my opinion. I was also introduced to Lord of the Rings through the 1977 The Hobbit animated movie. So I always have like a special place for the Hobbit trilogy from Peter Jackson. Was it great? Was it phenomenal? No. Was it terrible? No. Was it a solid, probably popcorn trilogy that could have been condensed into like 2 movies? Yes. And we talked about that the last month.
Yeah.
In my
Glad I
opinion,
missed it.
Look at that face.
well, I didn't watch it when it came out either. Yeah, she's not wrong. I was just kind of like,
You're talking about Peter Jackson's or the cartoons?
No, Peter Jackson's.
Peter Jackson's.
I didn't see the Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy until
Oh,
we-
the Hobbit
we saw
stuff.
it in theater.
yeah, not Lord of the Rings, woman.
I got my wires crossed. I'm like, you should be banned from this channel henceforth. But okay, carry on. No, I agree with you. Carry
No,
on.
you
I
made a
thought you were
snap.
talking about something
You
else.
made a snap judgment. You deserve 5 seconds in timeout.
You don't have that power, so bite me.
Oh, see, now there's the double standard. Wow, I didn't realize Tabitha went on vacation and became a leftist.
That's right.
She wields that wand.
I've always been a lefty.
That's true.
Oh,
That is true. That is true.
yeah.
So
I'm not, guys. I'm just left-handed. Just throw that out there.
I would definitely lean towards Fellowship of the Ring being probably the best movie out of all of them, but I think personally for me, my favorite is actually Two Towers. So, but yeah, I think Fellowship of the Ring is the best of the movies, the best of all 3 of the trilogy that just can't do no wrong. So,
And just before we go on, I just want to say what a nice move that HBO did when Rings of Power dropped. They dropped the entire Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy at the same time.
yeah.
I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
That's it.
You know what's funny? Just to like mess with Amazon Prime, like because we've been obviously a lot of us have been watching Rings of Power. I went and watched literally the Hobbit trilogy on Amazon Prime consecutively, and then Lord of the Rings after that, because obviously Dan and I were reviewing that on the channel. Like they're gonna get those analytics, be like, oh, he's caught every episode. Oh, he binge watched the Hobbit trilogy. He binge watched Lord of the Rings. It's like, yeah,
Cleanse the
dude.
palate. Yeah.
It's because it's 10 times better.
Yeah, I went and watched because I had not seen the extended cuts. So I watched the extended cuts, and I'm like, ooh, hi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Once you watch that, it's no way to go
There's
back.
no going
There's
back.
no going
there really
back
isn't.
after the extended cut.
There really
Yep,
isn't.
That's right.
I think my favorite scene in the extended cut is when, spoilers for that, no, I haven't seen it in the last 20 years, is when they're leaving Rivendell, and he's like, Frodo's leading them. The ring bearer shall lead the party, right? And he leaves the gates, and all of a sudden there's this split in the path, and he's like, Mordor, Gandalf, is it left or right? Left. Was it when you say left? I can't remember
Left.
now anymore.
Left.
He said left. He's like left. He's like, oh, okay. I think that's just a really great scene because it's so realistic. You know, it takes it. They're at this lofty level, and they're hanging out with the king. They're hanging out with all these beautiful elves, and then he's like, yeah, I'm the ring bearer, and he's like, oh crap.
Which way do I go? I have no idea.
That's a real world problem that I think we all can relate to.
Right.
Dan.
I will say my favorite scene because I never saw it was in Return of the King when they're at the Black Gate and that sergeant.
The mouth.
Oh, the mouth of Sauron.
Yeah.
Right.
That was dope.
I'm like, I like him.
Dan, what's your favorite? If I missed which one was
I
your
know, right?
favorite?
My favorite what scene?
No, your favorite movie.
Extended cut. Oh, your favorite movie. Oh, that's right.
My favorite movie of all time?
No, of the Lord of the Rings.
No.
That was what we've been covering.
Yeah, because you drove straight to Tabitha. That's what it was.
I would have to agree with most of you here. The Fellowship of the Ring was always my favorite. I love the buildup of characters. You know, I just like that. Not all movies need a buildup of characters, but definitely Lord of the Rings does it very well. And there's like, even when they're, I said this before, even when they're collecting, when Frodo's or when Bilbo's packing his stuff, or when Frodo's packing his stuff to leave, it's very very intriguing. You can't look away. It captures your interest, and it's one of those things. It's like, even though I've seen it a million times, it still captures my interest to watch those little parts. I mean, how can you make packing clothes to leave a house very interesting?
You get anxious watching that scene.
Yeah. But Peter Jackson did it, and it was one of the best. So,
and it's all the little details that are in it too.
Oh, of course, they were known for that. I like what Matt Vader says. You guys talking about Lord of the Rings trilogy? This is going to be an 18 hours long. We are the extended.
No, this won't be 18 hours long.
And why has Andy Serkis not gotten an Oscar yet? Come on.
He's a very talented dude.
And he does a lot of CGI characters.
Motion
characters. He should get you're right, he should get a Oscar for mocaps or something.
Hey, you hear me?
Why don't they have that as a category?
For real?
Yes, right.
Because that's what fans like.
Just to let you guys know,
can't have that.
Yeah, right. Even though Ryan's cutting in and out right now, it's probably because Hurricane is going to be shooting through there soon. So if we lose him,
he's Florida based?
Tampa.
Is he? Oh, okay.
He's in Tampa. So keep Florida in prayers, everybody. Hurricane.
We've got lots of YouTuber friends that are in Florida, and so yeah.
I remember those days when I lived there.
Of course, Dan had to bring that. I come back and Dan's got to talk about it. When I used to live in Florida, staple here.
That's it. So yeah.
So besides Ryan, am I the only person that has watched Rings of Power? No, Joker.
I've watched the first episode. Well, half the first episode.
I have endured this entire thing.
Okay, I've watched.
And the only reason I watched it was because I was going to be on here, so I had some idea what you guys are talking about.
We appreciate the dedication. You're off to a great start, man.
I only watched a little bit of it because I didn't want my my 2-year-old to come in, and if there were any spooky scenes or anything, I didn't want her to get freaked out or anything.
Nothing's happened in 5 episodes.
Well, that's not. I would disagree. I would disagree with that. I don't remember. It might be episode 3. You might have to correct.
Well, even just orcs sort of like that. I don't want her getting freaked out.
So they're
okay.
If they're,
because she's 2.
I don't know if anybody cares about spoilers or not. This is not much of a spoiler, but there is a scene where an orc pops up out of the ground or out of the floorboards, right? And it can be pretty. It can be a pretty scary scene.
I get that. Okay.
Especially for a 2-year-old, so they're
right. That's why I haven't really been able to go ahead and like really dive into it or anything like that, because I don't want her walking in and out and seeing stuff like that and freaked out. So
but as far as like story elements and pushing the story along, nothing's happened.
Okay.
It is a slogfest.
I can't say that it's necessarily a slogfest.
And yes, that is a technical term.
This is where Joker's voice and I will probably disagree. Now, I'm not pleased by it. Don't misunderstand. I'm not in love with this show for sure. They've really missed the mark on a lot of opportunities here. And like I was talking to somebody on Twitter, was it today or yesterday? I try to differentiate because there is a lot of hate towards the show. For good reason, because they have literally attacked the fans for just wanting to keep it
Tolkien.
Right. So, but So I was watching it in two like viewing it in two different ways. One is that I was telling somebody, this is hard to comprehend, but I was like, listen to me here. Just because it's not Tolkien, does that make it a bad show? Now, it's not reputable and it's not honorable that they made a show away from the lore. But there's a difference. Just because it's not true to the lore doesn't make it a bad show. There is a difference. Now, at the same time, it's not necessarily a fantastic show. It's pleasant. When I say it's pleasant watching, I mean it's like easy watching, right? Like you can have it on the background. You can watch it and be like, oh, look, pretty stars, you know.
Oh, it's like watching Golden Girls.
Excuse you.
Whoa.
No, I mean, as far as like, it's just something in the background. You know, you can watch it, and then
it doesn't take a lot of brain power to like watch. In my opinion, to keep up with the show. For me, though, honestly, what I think is outside of the lore, because like you know way more about the lore than I do. Okay, and that's what I was trying to tell people as well. Somebody was like, "How can you look at this and justify this by just saying, oh, it's just like a generic fantasy show, so I can watch it." Well,
I get what you're saying.
So Joker's voice, and I've talked about this before, is the fact that there is a difference there too. But we talked about the Wheel of Time. I am an avid fan of the Wheel of Time. I hated that show. It's an abysmal disgrace to Robert Jordan's characters. Joker voice doesn't know about the lore. Said he enjoyed it for the most part. So I think that that's the same way you can look at the Rings of Power. If you don't know the lore, like I'm not as heavily invested in the lore as a lot of people. It's a fourth decent show. They have the worst part about this show for me is that they have ruined Galadriel. I mean, ruined Galadriel, and they have done a horrible job with the elves. And I'm a big elf person, so this kind of gets me in the feels. Honestly, I like a lot of the side characters, but every time Galadriel comes on the scene, oh, my skin crawls. She's such a spoiled brat.
Is it because that for the most part these side characters are original characters and not taken from Tolkien?
This is very much a possibility. Like I really enjoy
John Lemonor.
Is it Isildur? Or that it's the dad, right? That's his name.
Well, that's Elendil, I believe.
Elendil, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Elendil. I like him.
Well, he's a legacy character.
I think he was
in the
prologue.
No, the prelude, if you will, for the Fellowship of the Ring. Right. You know, the part where he's battling against Sauron and all that.
Yes,
he was there.
Well, I like him. I think I like him in the show. He's a very strong, masculine character, something that we all would love to see more of.
Right.
But he's still gracious and intelligent. That guy. You know, that's just weird too. But I like the dwarves.
I don't like that.
I do like the dwarves.
Now, the dwarves, with the exception of one, I find are probably the most interesting characters of this show.
Which dwarf do you not like?
I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Disa?
There you go.
I like Disa. I think the lady did a really good job being a female dwarf.
Question.
Yeah.
What was she hairy?
Yes. They actually did put hair.
Mutton chops. They like some mutton chops.
Mm-hmm.
But was she like hairy all over?
No.
No, because she had a nice little walk down some stairs where she's showing some leg and some hip, and I'm like, really?
Remember what what's his name said? He goes,
Gimli.
It's the dwarves that go down with the little hairy women.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, his drunken stupor.
I forgot about that.
I mean, so for me, I'll go ahead and throw this. I haven't seen, like I said, all of it, but I did actually enjoy the prelude that started off the first episode. I kind of enjoyed that part. After that, realistically, I was okay with it in the starting point. The thing that really got me was when we left the elves the first time and went and saw the majestic countryside, and then we end up seeing, what are they called, the half-foots or whatever like that.
The Harfoots are the most evil creatures in all of fantasy.
You mean gremlins?
They are horrible. Absolutely horrible.
So when I saw them, I looked at it, I was like, these are dollar store brand hobbits.
Now I tell you what, they're leftovers from Willow.
Or that. But the thing is, but Willow is better.
But Willow is better, yeah.
Or they ordered hobbits,
not hobbits,
off of Wish.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I was going to say they're Hobbit knockoffs.
Yeah.
And they just didn't feel right.
Weren't they part of the woodland folk?
I mean,
was it the woodland folk or was the river folk?
There's two different kinds.
Because it was supposed to be
right?
before that, right? It was supposed to be.
These are
Smeagol was part of the river folk, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, he was part of the river folk. Yeah.
These Hobbit, not hobbits, the hobnots.
Nice, I love it.
Thank you, JT.
Oh yeah, credit.
They are trying to make these folks out to be like hobbits, and they can't even follow their own story, their own character, because they're like, when they're sitting around their campfires at night, and they're talking and they're singing their little songs, and they're like, we will wait for you. No, they won't.
No, they won't.
They will leave you to die.
They are even going to steal their wheels and
yes.
leave them in the wilderness
to die. And the one girl
Mary?
Hobbit whose family died, the one she's traveling with, they make her sing her mother's song, who got left behind to die.
I missed that part.
These are absolutely evil creatures.
Evil little hairy creatures.
Right. And they're saying, oh, our hearts are larger than our feet. No, you have no heart. Your heart. And I thought I had a black soul. Dear God.
Normie, what did you think? Feel free to just jump in, man.
No, you guys
just jump in whenever.
I thought Galadriel was
JT. Don't ever
very,
call me
very
Daddy
different from the
again
from the movie, the movies.
Yeah,
and the knockoff hobbits. That was pretty obvious that they're supposed to be like that little girl's supposed to be. She's basically Frodo, right? I mean, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And it's just one episode in, so it might not be that. But it seems like they're trying to play into the Frodo thing with her.
Yeah, I could see that, or like a Sam kind of thing, the tender heart kind of thing like that.
Does she ever say, "I'm going on an adventure"?
No, but they sing that song where they say, "Not all who wander are lost."
I remember that. That was like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they screwed that up too.
How so?
They're like, I believe they got the I believe they had to repeat the line because they debauched it, so they had to redo it, so they just kept it in twice. And I'm like, you guys, it's in the book. It's not hard.
Yeah,
right. They have a script, right? But they could follow.
Maybe that wasn't in the appendices because
I guess that was probably their tribute to Tolkien.
Probably this is probably about the only.
I mean, because that is one of the most famous sayings from this book, so I get why they would want to include it. It's just. You know what's funny though is that the show is all about diversity, inclusivity, right? We literally get one black elf.
Don Lemonor.
At least, and see, this is the thing, like at least with the dwarves, they sprinkle diversity throughout the crowd, right? So it looks normal, if you will, in like a normal crowd, a normal world, because they're not all just black and white. You've got all kinds thrown in there, right? But with the elves, if I'm not mistaken, I have only seen the one black elf. And I think that is a disservice to their cause of diversity, because then all you do is focus and localize on one person.
Like in the commercials, don't they have a black Legolas too? The one with the...
Well, that's the one I'm talking about. What is his name?
Okay.
Anadir.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Don Lemon.
That is the really confusing thing, is that they want to make this seem like it's the real world, right? That's their big push, is to make this take our world and as far yes, but see, that's what I'm saying. As far as I can tell, I've only seen the one black elf.
We're gonna make
one of these comments. Oh my gosh. I can't say it on
there.
there.
You don't read that comment out loud, anybody, but that's
yes, that's true.
That's gold. I'm sorry.
We should not be laughing, but that's very clever. Thank you, Internet Bard.
This is very clever. That was very clever. Wow.
He's talking about Christmas, guys.
Now, question.
Moving on.
What about what about the dwarfs? Is there how many black dwarfs?
That's what I'm saying. They're sprinkled throughout.
Saying, yeah.
It looks normal. It looks like a normal, it looks like our world. Like if you would go to a concert and you see all kinds of people, that's what it looks like in the dwarf. So it looks normal, right?
So they don't have that with the elves, though.
They don't have that with the elves. They have that with the humans.
He's raising his hand.
Okay. The dwarves who live in mountains, underground.
Should be pale.
Pale as could be, right?
I do get where people say
same thing with people underwater, but
but guys, nobody had a problem with the Atlanteans from Atlantis having dark skin in a Disney film, right? I think it's all about what they push in the agenda. I don't have a problem with dark-skinned dwarves or dark-skinned elves at all, or dark-skinned mermaids, because it's fictitious. It doesn't need to be realistic. I mean, come on, we're talking about, people living underground and surviving.
I get what you're saying.
If they wouldn't push that agenda, and
that's the biggest thing.
We all know.
Exactly.
If it wasn't part of the marketing campaign, and if you don't like it, you're a this or you're a that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Exactly.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, and it has to fit. It has to fit in the storyline as well. You just can't just shoehorn. You can't just shoehorn it in.
Oh, and also, by the way, they also have diversity with the Harfoots. The only race of people that you only see the one dark-skinned person that I can tell are the elves.
Maybe he's the last of his kind.
Yeah, well, honestly, it makes it seem like that. It's very strange. It's just very strange.
I just want to know why, when they talk diversity, why we only see one kind.
Yeah, you don't see any other ethnicities.
I don't, except for maybe with the dwarves. Like I've seen some people that have maybe some Middle Eastern or Southeast Asian looking appearances, but you don't necessarily find Korean looking people.
No.
Or Japanese looking people.
Nope.
You don't now in the Numenorian
Latin American.
You do not really, but you do find
Eskimo.
You do find some like Polynesian looking folk. But whatever reason with the elves, this is the weird part. With the elves, they pretty much, except for the one guy, keep it strictly like that stereotypical Scandinavian look, English Scandinavian look.
Cool. What about you, Norm? What do you think?
Again, I've only seen the one episode, but
hey, that's more than me.
Yeah, so I'm ahead of you on that. But and I'm in no way an expert on Lord of the Rings on this stuff, so it's okay. I don't.
Vader.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for coming on this show, but it was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Did it not hold your interest? Like before you knew you were going to come on the show, did you not want to watch it because you weren't interested in it, or just?
Just I'm not really interested in like the wizards and dragon kind of the whole where you gotta do a lot of reading and stuff like that. Just yeah, I don't have the attention span, I guess, for all of that stuff.
Yeah, not everybody likes fantasy.
I did like the original. I really like the original Lord of the Rings movies.
Right.
But as far as this series, it didn't really appeal to me, I guess. Yeah.
Achilles has something to say.
Oh,
he disagrees a little bit of the lore argument with Rings of Power. When you advertise fresh food, farm to table, then it's the original. But when you see in the menu it's processed food, you might not eat it. Okay, that's kind of goes along the same line as you guys, right? I mean,
pretty much.
I don't know what he disagreed. I don't know why he says he disagreed with the lore. But whatever. Welcome
Jacob!
back. Thank you. Yes,
well,
Jacob Ironside's here. Thank you. Ryan, how you doing? You missed the whole rant on Rings of Rangs.
We're moving on to we're moving on to Andor now, Ryan. You're late, so
And it wasn't me.
That's all right.
I see that I missed probably a good 15, 20 minutes of okay, so I don't know what that was.
Rings of Power.
I don't know what that was.
that was Jakers.
No, I know it was him. Dude, put the crowbar away, all right? That was great. That was so great. Thank you for that. I love it. You're like,
that must be a prop crowbar.
It was a very Joker thing to
It's
do.
very quiet.
It just went like this, and I didn't hear no bang.
I heard like a bang and a cat running away or something.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, like everything kind of just went boo, and I had to restart my computer like 3 times. I don't know. Apparently, there's a hurricane on the way. What are you gonna do?
A little wind, a little rain, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
just batting down them hatches.
It's not going to affect the infrastructure, internet, or electricity. It's not like the government is not good at certain things. I really don't know. It just like it was just like, and then I was like I'm like, can you guys hear me? And then I was like, guys, can you hear me? And I was just like frozen. I was like,
it was frozen, man.
And I was like, okay, we're not doing it because R2 is clips. We're not doing it. All right, so next topic. Let's go.
I don't think he's in the chat. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
he could be lurking.
Always in the chat.
Backyard Tortoise is here. By the way, I want to get him on the show sometime soon too.
Do it.
He was talking. I think I saw a Twitter about him putting not orange chicken. Was it orange chicken on pizza or something like that? Was it orange chicken? Yeah.
Orange chicken on pizza.
And he tried it and he says it's pretty good, but I don't think I would ever try something like that. But hey, you never know. That would be fun to do one of these days. Do a food
pizza try.
Try orange chicken pizza. I don't know. I guess that'd be fun. Okay, so anyways, next topic, everybody. Has anybody seen Andor yet?
Yes.
First episode.
First episode.
Okay.
First episode and half through the second episode.
All of them.
Okay. What about you, Norm?
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. You don't
Spoilers on the way.
2 for 3.
What's that?
I said you don't mind if we spoil it, do you?
I'm going to be devastated, but go ahead.
All right, good.
I don't know if I would be. I don't know if I would be telling people that 2 or 3 if you have only seen a certain amount of episodes.
That's okay. I've seen them.
I just want to make. Wow, I came back. She has nothing.
I was talking about Norm, like him doing really good on the show, because I said, he showed up, so that was one point. He watched Rings of Power, which he didn't want to, which is the second point, but he hasn't watched Andor, so I was just saying, that's what I was saying, 2 for 3, not the episodes. That's why I was like, does Ryan know what I'm talking about?
Probably not.
Went right over his head.
I
Give him some slack.
didn't.
Totally missed it.
Oh, all right.
Break
Hang
off a
on.
piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give him a break.
Point and laugh, everybody. Just kidding.
Point and
No,
laugh.
no, I know. You could barely see it. It was so quick, you would never see it. It's like, oh, I have spirit fingers. Everybody has spirit fingers, right? No,
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Andor. Okay. Dan, you said you've seen it. Exactly. Why don't you start us off, Dan? Get us on track.
All right. I've seen all 3 episodes.
What is this? I
What is
bought
what?
firewood yesterday. I touched it and thanked it for its sacrifice for the heat it will make to roast some hot dogs next week. I'm sorry, but it was just random. I'm like,
Bravo for you, dude.
Good job, Vader. Good job.
great. All right.
We love
Anyway.
Matt Vader. We got to get him on the show too.
Yes.
Maybe next month, everybody. So let me just. I'm gonna say my piece. A little bit of what I watched and why it was confusing to me and why it was boring at the same time and why I liked the first
Lay it out
3
there.
scenes of episode 1. Okay, here we go. So when it first started, I was watching.
I hope so. Otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about.
Otherwise, he was asleep.
So what's his name? Cassian,
Cassian.
right?
Andor.
Cassian Andor, which I always thought Andor was the name of the planet. That's not
Yeah,
it.
I did too.
That's not it.
No.
I
No.
thought this
No.
was the name,
No.
I thought this was the name of the planet in Rogue One. No? Am I?
The name of that
All right. Well, anyways.
that was Scarif.
Man, you and I were on the same page, man. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, so Cassian Andor, right? He's like in this bar. He's talking to somebody. He's like, "I'm trying to look for someone. My sister. I'm trying to look for my sister."
Wow, it's
Right? and they're like, okay, haven't seen her. Just move on, right? And then he goes to leave, and then all of a sudden, these 2 dudes that are watching him comes over, and they're like, "Yo, we don't like you. Oh, let's fight." And they're fighting, and then all of a sudden, he accidentally kills one guy. The other guy's crying, going, "You killed him!" Ah! And he's like, "What do I do?" Okay, boom, I'll kill you too. Outright murder. And that it was like I was thinking to myself, "Well, that was kind of cool. What's going on? I didn't understand."
Dan's like
that.
outright murder. That's kind of cool.
No, well, because it's something.
Full disclosure, though, it's not.
Okay, Joker says he did it in Rogue One, but I don't remember Rogue One, so I'm just looking at this
No.
going, "Oh, that was different. Disney's doing something different. Yay to Disney!" And then it just got boring, and then I'm sitting there going, "What? What is this guy talking about? Wanting to get Cassian because he killed these 2 guys, and his superior says, 'Don't do it because I said so. We need to move on. We got bigger fish to swallow here.'" And then this guy's like, "I don't care. I'm just gonna do it anyways because I want to." And it's like, and his superior, I haven't seen episode 4 yet. I can't wait till the superior comes back and kills the guy because he disobeyed his
Notice
orders.
Dan doesn't do the British accents though.
I
Right?
don't know how to do a British accent. I wish
You
I
don't
knew.
do it. We're good.
I don't know if you're doing a Latino
Plain.
accent very well either.
I do bad accents, everybody. But anyways, it's where was I?
You got way off track.
Hi. So like, then it got boring. I kind of liked the droid. He was cool. He reminded me of Wall-E when I first watched him. Wall-E, and he's going through this place, picking up garbage or something. I don't know what was going on. I was like, hey, Yeah. So I was like, okay, Wally's here. That's cool. And then Wally got boring, and then he's like talking to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
So far,
putting
what
the
I've got out of
carrots
this is it was boring and murder.
And Wally.
And Wally.
Yeah, that Wally.
And then
Picking up
episode
trash.
3 came. It was boring, and then at the end, it was kind of cool. Not really. They were fighting, throwing bombs and stuff at each other. I don't know. It was weird. It's a weird show, everybody. I don't know about it. It's not my favorite. Droid was a retarded version of Chopper. Was he though?
I'm gonna get into that.
So that's my overview. That's my plot
Yeah, really.
overview. Yeah, that's it. I thought it was gonna be cool, and then I didn't like it.
So does it
So I'm
feel
still
like Star Wars?
Does it? No,
Hey,
not really.
That's what I've been getting. Is it doesn't feel like a. like a
Okay,
Star
okay.
Wars.
You know in the
And I don't know if that's a good thing or
you
bad.
know in the trailer where the guy's like with the hammers, and then all of a sudden he hits the hammer, boom, boom, boom. So when that happens, I thought the ring was going to be louder, or something. It's like this silent metal ting, ting.
Oh,
ting.
geez.
And
Well,
it's like,
that scene is a little misleading in the trailer. It's not.
and
like
he's a
it's
very
call-
that's
Mhm.
true. And this
It's
guy's
not a call to
very
war.
white
Oh,
goatee, and he's like the whitest guy. I thought, for some reason, I don't know why I thought this in the trailer.
Dan doesn't like white people, guys.
Maybe because I didn't see his face clear enough, but I thought he was going to be like some kind of Muslim type person, with like the robes and make cool sounds, and I don't know. I just thought it was going to be cooler, kind of like good movies, but
But just boring, huh?
yeah, it was just kind of. Yeah,
that scene was again a little misleading in the trailers. It did.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to be, because the one thing about the trailers that really captivated me, because I think a lot of us can agree that Disney has kind of broken a lot of people's hearts in different ways. Some people like it, some people don't. But was that the music was really different, and I liked that.
Right.
And so that scene with the bell, or the hammers rather, that was actually a little disappointing for me, because it's like, oh, like Dan said, it's not like this really loud gong or anything like that. So I was like, oh, this scene has nothing to do with like the British are coming or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just like, everybody, it's 9:00 in the morning. Wake up! It's time for work.
oh, that sucks.
That's pretty much what it was.
For me, though, so I will say that I am a little bit. This is going to sound terrible, because I know what the overall plot is, but at the same time, for each individual episode, and I've only watched 1.5, I am a little bit confused with the storyline and the storytelling. We've got several different characters, and then. I try not to give too many spoilers, so that way, I mean, everybody else have fun. I'll try to do my part and be nice and not try to give too many spoilers, but
before we Tabitha, can I cut in real quick, because I didn't finish that part of it with the children in the
I was just about to touch on that, actually.
Oh, were you? Okay, well,
go ahead.
Here's my version of it.
Oh my gosh.
Kids walking around looking like they got poop in their pants, and it was just weird.
Lord of the
I didn't
Flies.
like it. Yeah, that's it. Lord of the Flies.
So we
It
don't
was
really.
weird to me. Anyways, go ahead.
Maybe that's a part that I
I'm not gonna-
missed. I don't
I'm
really
not
get a
gonna-
lot of backstory on what. So
I don't even know why they even had to put the backflashes in there. That was
there
dumb.
there
Right.
is a moment though with a bunch of characters
it,
where
though.
they're not speaking English. They're speaking an alien language, but we don't get any subtitles.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound Spanish to me.
No, it's because the blend.
It's not supposed
no,
to sound Spanish.
it's like a blend of like I think it was Portuguese, Spanish, and something else.
Inclusive to the Spanish people.
No, the storyline we've been told
they're
that
all Spanish actors.
Yeah,
How
but
come
that
they're
doesn't
just not
mean
speaking Spanish. They should just speak Spanish.
because it's a
It'd make more
galaxy far,
sense.
far away. It doesn't
Like
make
there's a
any
Chihuahua
sense.
that wants Taco Bell. Is that what you want?
Yes, Taco Bell, please.
No, so that part, I mean, you can read a lot in their expressions, but I don't understand why we don't get subtitles because even in like Star Wars Episode 1, you know, Anakin's talking to Sebulba. We get subtitles, you know.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I will say, like on a positive note, this show for me, as far as visuals go, this show looks fantastic. I like the way that they've colored stuff and whatnot, but I do not get Star Wars feel for this. And from what I understand,
Apocalypto is a good movie.
What seems to be the direction that Disney is going is that someone recently was telling me that, you know, a lot of us grew up with Star Wars as kids, right? We fell in love with it as kids. And as we've gotten older, some people have wanted Star Wars to get older and more mature as well. And some people like that. I don't, because again, it's that whole taking the real world element and putting it onto something fictitious. There's a reason why we fell in love with Star Wars the way that it is. Yeah, they show up in a brothel in the opening scene. Nothing like happens. There's no thing. But just the way that they filmed it and all that stuff. But still, it's like, you know, I mean, I guess you could say, I mean, Han was found in a bar. So, I mean, you can't really.
Well,
and
Jabba's palace.
Right, exactly. You've got the slave dancing girls, so you can't really get too much of a hang up on that. But it's just the way people are talking about it. It's not very lighthearted. And then
I didn't like that part where there, you know, there's dancer girls in the bar, and I was like, this is disgusting. Why is Disney even putting it in there?
Well, and then there was a scene where there was a lady and a man that were about to get together, and honestly, I wasn't sure how far they were going to take it because it had this vibe where it could have gone a little bit more mature. And again, I don't really want to give too many spoilers. It didn't.
It's okay, just spoil the heck out of it.
It didn't get graphic or anything like that. But honestly, I was a little bit taken by surprise because this vibe that was kind of built up because it was a kind of a clandestine meeting, and so
Bad Batch did a better job with all that.
And then there's this strange sense of humor in this. It's a very serious show, but then they have these bits in here that are peculiar. You have very serious characters, and then I don't know how to describe it. Like, but that one head dude, I don't remember his name, talking to the wannabe head dude, the younger man. He was like, "Have you changed?" They're having this serious conversation, and he's like, "Did you alter your uniform?" And the guy's like, "Yes, I did add some piping and some stitching," and like it was just a weird conversation. Like, so I think the way they filmed it is really beautiful. It's really lovely. I love the music, but I don't get Star Wars, and I am a little bit confused.
Okay.
Joker
Just-
voice.
Oh, okay, go.
You want to
first.
jump in? You want to jump in? Go ahead.
Right.
He's been wanting to jump in ever
Oh,
since I
boy.
was talking.
Yeah, he's chomping at the bit.
If you want brothels, implied coupling, profanity, and present day politics in Star Wars, this is the show for you. If you want a galaxy far, far away, which gave us a childlike sense of the wonder that is generational, that you can pass on to your kids and their kids, then no, this is not the show. This is not Star Wars. This is a bunch of, as the showrunner has said, this is a commentary on a Trumpian world. He has said that the Denise Goff, who we're going to be seeing soon, is a imperial officer who said her character is exploring gender politics within the Empire. And in the days of where you need to see yourself on screen, if you can't, otherwise you can't identify with anyone, the first time we get a stutterer in Star Wars, it's a box on wheels that gets peed on.
But at least they're representing, man. This is a powerful step forward for inclusivity.
Right. And
I was not expecting that at all.
Wow.
as a stutterer, I don't like being peed on. So I did not appreciate that.
As a non-stutterer, I will like getting peed on.
As a non-stutterer. They do say that there are youthful elements to urine, Joker. I'm just saying.
And as we said as we were talking with Lord of the Rings earlier, I keep hearing about this show looks good. This show sounds good. If the best parts are just technical, but you can't tell me about the story, this is crap.
Did I not say the story?
Well, the story's boring.
I think he just meant in general, but yeah,
My stories sucked.
I'm not enthralled by this.
Right, and this could easily be, and this.
I don't understand. Here's my question.
Easily be, I mean,
no, go ahead.
My last point.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You take away any Imperial references. This is a generic sci-fi spy show.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting very low key Battlestar Galactica vibes. And I don't mean that to despair Battlestar Galactica, but what I mean is like with that Star Wars feel again. Yeah, to me it feels a lot more like a closer resemblance to Battlestar Galactica than it does to Star Wars.
It's more like because we have heard it efforts. It's more like Apocalyptica and Blade Runner smashed together
in the opening scenes. Yeah.
Yes, the opening scene.
Yep. I was gonna say Blade Runner was a vibe I got, but my question is the uniforms. Why are they look like that? They don't even look imperialistic.
They're not imperial.
Because this is a.
Are they just security guards or something?
This is a private security company that is rented out by the Empire for the mid rim, and then they have some for the outer rim. Because,
why on earth would they go ahead and rent people out? I mean, Empire is so dominant.
Well, because this is still like I said, this is about 5 years before the
Rogue One, yeah.
New Hope.
Well, no, it was before the Battle of Yavin. That's what,
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're
it's supposed to be 5 years before. Why do they all look like they're 20 years older? Sorry.
Because you can't stop time.
So
gotcha.
This is far away.
So
Ready.
this is such mid-rim. I mean, and I'm going to mention that, yes, Matt. This is because we have another Disney product show that is actually set in this exact same time space, which is Star Wars Rebels, is in the exact same time. There's a lot more hotly contested from Lothal and other planets on the complete other side. That's where the stormtroopers. That's where all the that's where the ISB is.
Because I just started watching the Rebels shows, so
right,
and loving it.
Yeah,
loving it. I'm on the second season of that right now.
Rebels gets a bad rap because it's not the Clone Wars, but
I think it's still pretty good though.
It is good. It is good, and because of the timing of it, Rebels is the first Disney Star Wars product. The last season was released in 2018. Which was right after the Rise of Palpatine. No, I'm sorry, which was right after The Last Jedi.
Okay.
And Dave Filoni gave us a little present in there that I'm hoping they explore.
I'm going to check that out for sure then.
We lost Ryan again.
Yes.
But
and also the showrunner of this show has said that this show is going to have no fan service. None.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, didn't one of the women say something about tired of lazy men and all this kind of stuff? Like she came right out and said that
This will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have not seen her in the show yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this going to be the one that plays as Mon Mothma?
No.
Okay, because I read that her inspirations for her character or her portrayal of Mon Mothma was AOC and Nancy Pelosi.
Why wouldn't it just be Mon Mothma? I mean, we already have a character for her to emulate.
Because
I got an agenda.
Because this is all about the message. This is all about and I'm going to be talking about this in some future stuff on my channel, because I saw some stuff earlier that there's some of the investors at Disney are very unhappy, and they're being vocal now. So
I mean, Fiona Shaw came out and said that she was basically this show explores like anti-Trumpism and stuff like that, and like nobody cares, man. We just want to watch Star Wars.
But the other thing is that most people don't realize the fact that the rebellion. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
See, it works, Dan.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask.
Well, it's your show. I mean,
is the Empire supposed to be like the Trump people?
Yes,
that's what they try to say, but it's the exact opposite.
The Empire is Trump.
It's
in their mind
like the exact opposite to me.
No, they try to go ahead and say that Trump is Palpatine.
Right. And this is you can.
That's the same face that I have, Dan.
And if you really listen to the show, you can catch things like when. Spoiler alert, when the young security officer notices one? Oh no, not that one.
Okay.
The one in charge.
The good looking
namby-pamby. The namby-pamby one.
Yeah, that.
So he's talking and he's like, well, how did this ship get here? How did it leave? How did it get here? And these are the bad guys. And then he said, and the guy was like, I don't know. And he's like, how can we do our job if we cannot secure our own order?
Yeah.
Oh,
securing your own boat. Oh, okay, like the wall.
Build a wall.
Build a wall.
Build a wall. Yeah.
Oh, dumb.
No,
that's
my thing.
Though.
So my thing in this show though is that honestly, it's weird. I can understand the main character, Cassian, better in Rogue One than I can in this show.
You mean verbally or like orally?
Yes.
Like you can understand.
As far as like him, he doesn't enunciate enough.
Okay.
I think
that could be the directors. That could be the directors.
Right.
It's possible, but
the same director as Rogue.
The other one.
It's the same. It is the exact same director as Rogue One.
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards?
No, Tony Gilroy.
Yeah.
I thought Gareth Edwards did Rogue One.
Tony came in to. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Like the Solo we were talking about earlier with the Ron Howard guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Same idea.
But either way, though, he is difficult to understand to me. I like the music, but not for Star Wars. Okay. Because it sounds too much like Blade Runner. It's like, oh, the music's cool, but it doesn't fit in the Star Wars universe because it sounds too much like Blade Runner.
It's hard to beat John Williams.
It really is. The other thing that I thought was interesting is because, since I'm part of the Star Wars room builder group on Facebook, is that I start noticing certain aesthetics in the background as far as like how things are built. And one of the things I noticed was brick walls. And it's like,
oh, I didn't see that.
It looks real.
Yeah.
It looks real.
Too much like our world.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel real.
Right.
It doesn't feel Star Wars to me.
No, exactly. Why are they using bricks? I mean, they didn't use bricks.
There's nothing. But there's nothing wrong with them using bricks. But why use traditional bricks? Why are they the traditional standardized bricks that we use? Why couldn't they have been different sizes or whatever, or different shaped bricks?
Right. Bigger.
You know, something that looks that like it would fit within the universe.
Well, I mean,
rather
like the
than
cargo
bringing
boxes.
it into our home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cargo boxes that the Empire would use that you would see on the Death Star and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they
those
were just
funky
boxed,
looking cube things.
but they had designs in it,
Yeah.
and they were everywhere to make it look different from our world.
Right. And so it's like, you know, we watch the movies to escape our world. I mean, that's predominantly what movies are supposed to be anyway. It's an escape.
Yeah.
It's an escape.
Yeah.
And why would we want to go ahead and bring the world that we love, as far as like in the movies, and bring it into our world?
The one
I mean, our world. Right, exactly. And to a certain degree, you can almost look at it as like, man, our world sucks. I wish I could go ahead and be in that world because it's so different than ours. Instead, you go ahead and bring it into our world where it sucks like this. So therefore, Star Wars is starting to suck. It's like, that's not fun. The outright murder that was done also in like the beginning.
It was a little strange.
Weird.
Like
it was
that
a little
scene
weird
with the crying dude. All of a sudden, like, it was just weird.
Yeah, it caught me way off guard.
Confused.
And you want to feel sympathy for this guy. Why? You know he's supposed to be the hero because if you've seen Rogue One, yeah, that's
so
true.
Their planet.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Why does everybody want to go back to Jakku?
I don't like the flashbacks either. I think it's because it's not.
But I didn't like the.
Well, yeah, the planet's fine, but the flashbacks don't make sense because you have no idea what's really going on to go ahead and help you understand. Because again, as Tabitha said, I know it's part of the storyline, but as you said, there's no subtitles to go ahead and put any kind of context to it.
I find that to be a creative decision that I'm not exactly okay with. You know, like again, you can read their expressions and kind of sort of figure things out, but I think that makes the watcher, the viewer, if you will, have to think too much. Because now we have to, while we're watching the story flow, we have to think to ourselves, what's going on? Why are they like this? Maybe this is happening. And then we're missing things because we have to think of why.
But again, you know, I don't know. I have like no attachment to any of the characters right now. I mean, I only watched the one episode, but they haven't gripped me enough. I feel almost no sympathy or empathy or whatever towards Cassian Andor because he's not a good enough of a character to really go ahead and care about. He was a better character in Rogue One.
Right. I liked him in Rogue One.
But in this one right now, he's really
actually better in Open Range. Have you seen that movie?
He was good in Open Range. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know this guy from any other movie that I know of.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But
you gotta see Open Range. That's a good
okay,
one.
I need.
Oh my goodness!
Dan has told me.
I'm gonna watch it. I know there's supposed to be a challenge that was put out by some of the guys to build a panel that looks like it came from the series or whatever. I may or may not partake in it. I'm not sure yet. But
well, Joshua, all you got to do is get some bricks. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's supposed to be a panel, not a wall.
I cut them in half, and
But
well, just put it behind the panel.
Because some
brick wall and then that on top of it.
Because some of the guys are like, super excited about it, and I'm looking at it just first episode. I was like, there's nothing to be
I should have brought
about.
Dave on this channel.
I was going to say,
episode.
I wish Ado or Whitey or Dennis was here.
Right?
Yeah,
they always have a different view.
Exactly. They always.
I mean, first episode, and to me, it's just
people are allowed to. That'll be wrong. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, but see, the thing is,
but they have different looks at it too.
The thing is if you've ever met Star Wars room builders, like these professional Star Wars room builders, they look at Star Wars in a very different way than the rest of us do, just because they are so invested in the background. Mm-hmm. Like they love the characters, but they just love the props and they just live for it. Because they're like, what can I build next? That looks cool.
Yeah,
like, honestly, I I paused the first episode because I had to do something. But it was on the frame of the droid, the red droid. And I was just like, I was looking at it. Joker. But no, this was not while he was being used as a urinal. But
or a fire hydrant.
Or a fire hydrant. But I was just like, I was looking at the detail. All of a sudden I just got caught by the detail that was going on with the creation of the droid. And I'm like, man, I thought those top 3 guys, we typically hang out with, I was like, I just know one of them's got to be excited about this droid because of
somebody actually built him.
See,
already.
I knew
And
it.
that's great, but that is all frosting and no cake.
Right.
That's true.
I guess they just, it's different reasons why people love Star Wars.
Yeah. Jacob is asking a question. Does it make him like Han Solo? Like when he killed the bounty hunter that had a gun pointed at his face?
Yeah, but
but Han already had this charisma.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And Han, he may have shot first, but he had a gun.
He shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know.
Guido never
that,
shot.
Yeah,
Guido
exactly.
never shot.
But Guido did have a gun
Vader.
pointed at him and told him he was gonna, he was gonna basically die. And he was
then you also get more story of Han Solo to go ahead and fully understand him anyway, too. So,
Right. And this is the problem with prequels. For the title character Cassian Andor, you know where his story ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we knew where Darth Vader's story was going when we saw Anakin Skywalker.
Okay, so yes, we did, but you put enough compelling characters around them to make you invest in everything else, and especially during the Clone Wars, you had the clones, you had Rex, you had
Clone
Jesse.
Wars is very, very, very broad.
You had, like I said, you have Rex, you have Jesse, you have Fives, you got
Ahsoka.
You've got other characters that you can invest in, because in Andor we have Cassian, Mon. We know we have 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 Mon Mothma. We know we're getting Saw. We know we're getting Saw Gerrera. We know and these are 3 major players in this.
Yeah,
there are no stakes for them at all. So they have got thick plot armor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, true, and let's also just be real. Like, you can't really compare Cassian Andor to Darth Vader. Like,
true.
Nobody was asking for the origin story of Cassian Andor.
Right.
Nobody was.
We all kind of wondered, how could somebody become the most notorious evil villain in the entire galaxy?
Right. Exactly.
And also, that was George Lucas.
Right.
And this,
that too.
And this is true. Yeah.
Kind of
and
the big point there.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is also the problem with Disney Star Wars is this is a purposeful. It is being purposely done by Kathleen Kennedy to basically remake Star Wars as she thinks it should be, because
the Force is female.
And
right on.
And I just saw a really great stream on Sunday. It was Valiant Renegade with WDW Pro and Cameron Pasha, where the former editor-in-chief of the Hollywood Reporter on his podcast is publicly calling out Kathleen Kennedy, and these are now Hollywood folks who are calling her out, saying it's time to go.
Wow,
interesting.
Even if there wasn't some kind of agenda being pushed, as we all,
No.
Okay, no, I know it's there. I was trying to be nice. The difficult thing too about when you have a beloved franchise, it doesn't matter if it's the works of Tolkien, if it's George Lucas's Star Wars. When you
or Star Trek,
as an artist, as a creative, it is difficult to give people a chance when they're messing with somebody else's artistic creativity, right? So obviously, no matter how much you might love, Andor or any of the other shows, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, all this kind of stuff. It's always going to have a different taste to it because it's not made by the original person. You know,
Right.
it's somebody else's baby, if you will, and so it's always going to have a different vibe, different upbringing.
I will push back on
think
that just a little bit, just because of say something like Mando, and we know we're going to get Ahsoka. That's from Dave. And,
yes, Dave Filoni.
And as if you've ever watched the docu-series on Disney Plus, The Gallery, when Dave at the end of episode 2 is just talking about Star Wars and the entire table is just stopping and they've all listened to him, and he said the last thing that George told him was make your stories hopeful because that's what children need. Star Wars is made for, it's not just made for children, it's not just made for children, it's made for that inner child that all of us have. This is not Star Wars.
Well, so that was the other thing I was actually going to throw in there as well, is that the Andor, it doesn't feel. Star Wars has always been kid friendly. Star Wars has always been predominantly a PG stylized series up until the first PG-13 was Revenge of the Sith because of the burning of Anakin Skywalker. After that, everything's been PG-13. And then they want to start going darker. I understand there are some elements that are dark. I mean, especially when you go into like the story of like Darth Maul and such. But it still needs to be, it still needs to appeal to kids and stuff.
Which they explored Darth Maul in Clone Wars. That's
exactly.
That is which is a TV PG show.
Right. And that's the thing, that it needs to stay within the PG realm because, let's face it, it should appeal to everybody.
And because if parents and adults, if they love Star Wars as much as we all say that we do, we won't care if it's PG. No, because we're there for the story. We're there for the characters. We're not there for sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know,
which there's nothing wrong with that in other forms of entertainment. Like I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones and the House of the Dragon series. A lot of the stuff that they have put either implied or overtly in Andor is in House of the Dragon.
See, and those are two widely different.
Yeah.
Right. So if I want that, I'll go there to get that.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So I was just thinking.
Here it comes, guys.
Okay. George Lucas's view of hope is totally different than Disney's view of hope, because Disney's view of hope is
modern. Disney's hope.
Modern. Yeah. They're modernized. They want to take God out of everything, and their hope is more
nihilistic,
pleasing everybody because they need to please everybody. They want to support everybody, you know, in a way of like this whole transgenderism thing and the whole race thing and race theory, and it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Their hope extends to minorities.
Their hope is becoming an absurdity.
The hope they have is to create this utopian world where everyone thinks the same, acts the same, and
it's the same.
It's very much. I mean, and I'm going to use
happy all the time.
And I'm going to use. You know, I saw a drawing. It was a Venn diagram, and on one circle it said Fahrenheit 451. On one circle it said 1984. On one circle it said Brave New the World, and in the center is a red dot and says you are here.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And so Disney doesn't want to, or at least the activist class in Disney doesn't want to appeal to.
No, they don't.
They want to appeal to themselves, to their Hollywood friends, and to a fringe group on to a fringe group on Twitter to the point that they will attack everyone else and alienate their customer base because they view us as a lot of we are just plebs to them.
We all have been talking a lot about, agendas and whatnots and stuff, but since you're new here, I hope that you are comfortable. I don't know what your stance is on anything. If you have a different opinion than the rest of us or on anything, please feel free and feel comfortable to express
you're good.
it.
I think I would just, what you guys are recently talking about is it's actually like a marketing strategy now, the outrage that they've been able to weaponize and also, translate to dollars at the box office. So it's, it's part of that as well.
And here's the problem.
That's true, because there are people like us who decide we have to watch something because, it's going to be really bad. We got to watch it and review it and bash it.
A perpetual cycle that.
So we're watching it anyways, and they're still making their money.
And not even that, but they'll have, before there's even any outrage, they'll say, just they'll say to their actors, beware about this, and then they'll obviously put that out to where everybody knows.
Kenobi series, the Kenobi series, 2 days before it launched, when Moses Ingram made a comment that Lucasfilm had warned warning her about all the toxic racist fans. There are no toxic racist fans of Star Wars, and if there are, I can probably count them on one hand.
Right.
Star Wars has always been diverse, always.
Right. Yeah.
Hey guys, I hate to break this to you, but I'm gonna have to end up leaving.
Here we are going long tonight.
Well, I mean, I gotta get up early and I gotta take care of little ones every once in a while. She wakes up sometimes. Yeah. I gotta work hard for that money.
She works hard for the money.
Exactly.
Norm, I do want to hear from you, though. I want to hear some of your opinions on maybe what we're talking
But thank
about.
you for coming, The Maker. Always a pleasure to have you.
I will try to be on again at some other points. Just give
when
me a
your
heads up.
ship makes it into orbit,
Right.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See you, Josh.
Bye.
And then there were 4. Nice.
Did the other guy, is he all right?
I'm thinking he's having some power.
Check on him.
Yeah,
he's not getting washed away or anything, though, right?
I've been texting him. He's in the middle of messaging back, so hopefully he's all right. All right, so Norm.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions or anything like that about what we're talking about? I know you said you didn't watch the show, but
Star Wars in general.
We're doing Star Wars in general, apparently. So
sure. I think another note is there's kind of always been politics in Star Wars. It's just put in there better and not as not like with the subtlety of like a sledgehammer to the face. Whereas it's done better by better writers too. So that the politics in it is nothing new, but where it's just kind of out there.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Norm, but again,
no, you're good. Go ahead.
But again, like shows like Star Wars and even Game of Thrones, they do have politics.
Yes,
Game of Thrones is a show about
politics.
About politics,
exactly. Yeah.
Yes, top to bottom. But it's the politics of that world,
right?
And Star Wars, I mean, you have a civil war, which is an extension of politics, but it's the politics of that galaxy. It's not
our politics,
right?
Well, I mean, in the original Star Wars, you had the whole Vietnam thing with the rebels fighting the Empire and things like that. That's what I was talking about with the politics, right. Intermingled into the story.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you're always going to draw on inspiration from our world.
Right.
We all know that. And
right. But when it's obvious, like, oh, you're talking about this particular, politician speech, then it's
Right.
Well, and you ever notice that it's always like, and I know it's because most of the time it's made by American creators, but it's always seeming to be American politics. With we are expressing to the world, because the world is watching Disney Plus. We're expressing to the world our civil, or our discourse, our disagreements within our own country, and projecting it onto the screen for the rest of the world.
No one in the East Arab Emirates cares.
That's exactly. It's like, why aren't they picking other political figures of the world? Surely we're not the only country that has its issues and divides, but for some reason we feel that we need to put our politics in front of everybody else. And maybe that's just coming from an inherent arrogance that a lot of Americans have, where we feel that we are the center of the universe. But I don't know. I think that's very bizarre that we feel, especially, again, I mean, a lot of people are saying now, it's not just for kids or whatever, but I mean, it's on Disney, for crying out loud. And we all know Disney is about children and magic. So why are we putting politics as such a huge part? It's like, even in the original Star Wars, yes, there was a lot of political drive in it because that was part of the storyline. But the baseline of the story was there is hope. Like we had said before, it was good versus evil. It wasn't leftist versus right wing conspiracy theories.
Right, the politics were in it, but it wasn't centered. The driving force. It's centered, exactly.
Yeah. And so I just think that from a creative standpoint as well, they're really stifling themselves.
Yeah.
They're not using their own creativity. It's almost like, and a lot of people have said this, that Hollywood has bled themselves dry on creativity. And so we have to put our own problems out there because we can't seem to come up with original storylines or something like that. It's really sad.
True story.
But so that's our thoughts on Andor. Hopefully, Norm, I do hope that when you watch it, that you enjoy it. I really do. I genuinely do, because Star Wars is meant to be enjoyed.
Right.
So hopefully there is something about it, or the whole thing. Hopefully you do enjoy it. Of course, these were all just our different takes. I can't say that I find Andor, this is going to sound like an oxymoron. I can't say that I find it boring at the moment. I find it lackluster, which I know seems to be the same thing. What it means is, like, I need more to watch to be able to understand. I can't understand what's going on. I can't be bored right now, because boredom is like, I know what's going on and I just don't care. For me right now, it's more, I'm not bored. Like, I want to watch the next episode because I'm like, okay, maybe if I just understood what's happening, I could enjoy this. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm of the mind of, if it takes, I shouldn't have to wait to the 4th episode to get interested in a show.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think not.
This is true, but I have watched other TV shows that do compel you to think a little bit. And I can't think of the last one I just watched recently where I'm like, oh, you need to kind of, we did a review on it, Dan. It was a movie or a TV show. And I'm like, oh, you have to think a little bit when you watch this. And I didn't mind that. But this is different.
Oh, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
No, I hate that. Absolutely not.
No.
Well, that's a thinker movie.
No.
It's not a thinker movie.
No, it's not.
That is a head scratcher movie. Like, who's watching this movie?
My question is this. Well, okay, so my question is this, because yes, there have been shows like that in the past, but these were also shows that were 36 episodes.
This is true.
Yeah. This is 12.
Still more than 8.
But we are still we are a fourth of the way through it already. And it shouldn't take me a fourth of the way through to get invested in a show. And I just want to say, and because if anyone in the chat or whoever that watches this later on, I don't think any of us want Star Wars to be bad. We want Star Wars to be good.
Yeah.
we want Lord of the Rings to be good, and all we're doing is we are just saying that the direction that current Hollywood is taking our beloved properties is not. We are just like, hey, just bring it back, guys. Bring it back to what worked.
Can I? Oh wait, no.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, okay.
I was gonna change to another topic just recently.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask what you guys thought about the news with the Deadpool Logan.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go,
that's gonna
Dan.
go.
That perfect transfer into upcoming.
Because
Yeah.
I don't have much faith in it. But,
Oh, you don't?
I hope it's good, but I
think
Logan was
because
such a
it
good
is-
ending point for that.
Right,
Hmm.
it is, and I think because Ryan Reynolds is, I think he's writing it, isn't he? Because he wrote the other two. Obviously, if it's going to be produced by Disney, it's probably not going to be as good as what he had. Well, not saying that it was. Some people might not think it's good because Tabitha wouldn't have liked Deadpool because of a lot of swearing and too much blood and gore. But some
Not gonna
people
handle
like that
It's
stuff,
a swear.
So they might cut back on the swearing. They might do some things.
I
that
don't
would
think so
not
because
make
he was bragging on Twitter about this will be the first R-rated film Disney's going to produce.
I think that one has to be R-rated.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah,
And he was
Yeah,
bragging about
It
it.
has to be.
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Joker voice.
What you got, Joker?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
He's got something. Yeah.
For this to work, this film has to be an island unto itself. It cannot be connected to the MCU. It can't. And that probably has to be a condition because if it's going to be a part of the broader MCU, it has to go through Victoria Alonso, has to go through Kevin Feige, and let's be honest, Phase 4 has been a complete disaster.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute disaster. And they are trying to, and right now, as far as Marvel's goes, as far as the Marvel goes, they are scrambling to find the markets for their films and shows because basically China has locked them out.
Right.
Their films are not being shown in China any longer.
Really? How
Yep.
come?
Because the CCP wants the biggest money making films to be in China, done by Chinese.
And a lot of the social issues are not going to fly in China.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if
Right.
it is going to play there, they're going to have to cut out.
I thought maybe Disney was a biggest supporter of Chinese. That
Well-
They're a big bow to the knee kind of people.
Right.
Yeah.
But
But-
this is but they're looking for and they're looking for the markets to really expand this. They've been trying at India, but they want India to go woke, and India's like, no.
yeah, good for India.
Right. So but while Marvel is pushing all this social justice nonsense, they are taking the MCU for granted and just basically saying as long as we slap a Marvel label on it, everyone will keep coming. Well, the numbers are showing that they're
Right.
not.
Do you
So
think maybe that's why they're going with this Deadpool thing because they want to get some numbers back?
no, because because this is Phase 5. This will be right in Phase 5. Like I said, this film is going to have to be an island unto itself.
Right.
And I think what Joker was saying, I think that could work with
That's the only way. It's
even
the
you could
only way
do. I
it
think
can
you
work.
should have just that little, like Marvel Knights kind of thing with you got the Punisher and Daredevil and Deadpool and all of these guys in this separate area. You don't think so?
No,
Okay.
because we already know that we're going to get Daredevil in She-Hulk, and Daredevil Born Again is going to be a 18 episode series on Disney Plus. Now, for those of you who don't know, Daredevil Born Again is a great series that was done by that was done by Frank Miller. If you think Disney is going to do Frank Miller justice, you are lying to yourself.
Yeah. Was that yellow suit from the Frank Miller run?
The yellow suit is the original
Okay.
design.
Interesting.
So,
I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm hoping maybe it'll be
kudos on the commercial though.
You know?
Yeah, it was a good commercial.
But I have no faith. I mean, show me anything that
Right.
Marvel
I
has
just like
done.
Ryan Reynolds, you know.
And that's fine. But show me.
Have you? Okay, so.
But Dan, show me anything in the last 2 years that you can show me to say, okay, this could be good based on what Disney Marvel is doing.
I think because you got Hugh and Ryan. That's
exactly.
Right.
I was going to say the same
that's the only thing.
Yeah,
but it's
I think
but
that,
again,
and of course,
okay.
let me
Like we were talking about with Star Wars.
I know you're
hope.
saying.
You gotta have
Yeah,
the hope.
I know you're saying. Yeah, I know you're saying that it's Disney. It's Disney, but I'm thinking maybe Disney will let them do whatever they want. Because
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
That's true. You might not believe that, but I'm just thinking it might happen because Ryan Reynolds has his own thing,
Right.
And if you've seen the Adam Project, that was pretty good. Mr. Incredible Hulk, the woke guy, was in there, and that was a good movie. Obviously, I don't like what's his name,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mr. Mark that well, but the movie in itself was a good movie.
The Adam Project that was brought over that was brought over in the Fox acquisition, right?
That was Free Guy.
Okay,
yeah, that's Free Guy.
Okay.
Free Guy was good too. Adam Project was
Netflix,
Paramount,
right?
I think Paramount Plus.
Okay, so again, this is Disney Marvel.
I know. I understand.
This is Kevin Feige.
Yes, I get it.
This is Victoria Alonso. You can't. Okay,
well,
if this,
I'm just hoping that
okay,
they'll let him.
And I can hope that California falls into the ocean
abyss
next week too. So,
well, that might happen. You never know. Maybe not next week, but eventually.
I mean, I have very little faith in.
I'm the same way, and also the ending with the whole.
You've seen Escape from LA, right?
It was a good way to end that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Norm.
And I know that I sound like the old guy, get off my lawn type of thing. but at this point, I have to be, because I would rather be pleasantly surprised than burned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has definitely become the case, which is really, really sad with a lot of our favorite with Hollywood in general.
Because I want to be excited. I want to be excited to go to the movies again. Yeah. I want to be excited. I'm
excited for Avatar, but a lot of people think I'm weird or whatever.
I still have not seen the original.
Oh, well, they just remastered it, watched it in 3D.
It
was beautiful.
Don't care.
So here at Inside the Booth, you might want to be excited for new movies. We try to make you excited for nostalgic movies to go back and rewatch. That's what we do here.
We do that every Sunday and Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So Joker Voice, have you seen Escape from LA?
Of course I have.
Okay, so like I said, you never know. You never know. California might fall off.
I mean,
you never know.
I can only hope.
Well, but that's why it's so important to also say your piece, protest peacefully, all this kind of stuff. But also a way of protest is investing in independent artists. Right, both ways. If we're crossing the street, don't take candy from strangers. Don't get into white vans. But and supporting independent content creators. We sometimes watch fan made films here on Inside the Booth, and they rely on support from viewers like us. And if you see people with potential, it's like, man, let's get behind these people and let's show Hollywood that they're not. We rely way too much on one source for entertainment, and we might.
The first shipments are going out. Rippaverse Comics, they're on their way out. I should be getting mine in about 2 weeks.
Several people have already got theirs, so there's a shift coming. If Hollywood doesn't get it together, there's going to be a very big shift with creative people, content makers, and I think that's beautiful. It's giving somebody else a chance to succeed, whether you're a comic book creator, you're a video maker, whatever the case may be.
I mean, look at us. The most folks don't watch shows anymore. They
watch
come
podcasts.
To us. They come to us now. We are the entertainment now.
Norm, you're one of us. One of us.
Love your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
He's running around.
Oh yeah.
What a cute dog.
It's not quite a hyena, but it'll do.
Exactly. No. I need hyena breakfast.
Dan, forks and knives.
Okay. Yeah. I know.
You don't know what that means, Joker.
That a hint?
Yes,
yeah,
it means that you need to eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables. All right. Before we end this show, let's just since we haven't done any commercials at all within the almost 2 hours we've been here,
My word.
which I was going to try to cut in and do it, but I just
didn't have your hand up, Dan.
I didn't have my hand up. Yeah, cut it out. So let's just do a short commercial here at Inside the Booth. Guys, come Hey, that's not the whole thing. That's all right.
I know. I'm sorry. I got the wrong one. But it gets the point across.
That's right. Go to insidetheboothtv.com/shop. Get yourself some merchandise. We got koozies to make your cans cozy. By the way, do you like this koozie? I bought this one at a Comic-Con. Isn't that
you can't get that at our merch shop, but you can
no,
get
not yet anyways. I think I want to try to buy a few from him and try to sell some.
That'd be pretty cool. But it is fall season, guys. The cold weather, depending on where you live, is upon us. And so we have some of the most comfortable, soft-lined hoodies available at our shop. I encourage you to get it with our logo slapped on there so you can support one of your favorite movie reviewer channels on the interweb.
That's right.
It's definitely not cold where I'm at. It's just after 8 o'clock at night, and it's still 91 degrees.
Right. Well, December is upon us. Wow. It'll get it down to a nice, 78 maybe.
Let's see. December through February, I will have overnight lows like 22.
It gets cold in the desert.
Oh, it gets cold.
It gets cold in the desert. I know.
Also, we have this cool thing called Patreon, patreon.com. Search up Inside the Booth. We got the description, the stuff link in the description below, the link, and you can become a supporter for just $1 a month, everybody. So if you like what we do here on Inside the Booth or with us here on the review show, come support us for just $1 a month or more if you would like to, be led on how much you want to spend. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for everything, guys. Of course, everything we do here is, for you guys. And we appreciate everybody who has come on the panel and on the chats and who lurks in watching.
Right. And be sure to check out these guys' channels, which their links are also in the description box below. Check them out. Yes. Show them some love. Let's get Norm to those 6 subscribers. Heck,
I'm already at 6, you guys.
Oh, okay. Let's get it to 10.
Mission accomplished.
10. That's it. Let's get him more. Let's get him more.
Let's get him to 25.
Let's see. And I'm at 15 away from 300.
Excellent.
All right. Let's get Joker to 300. And also,
I'm not cool like Tabitha yet with her 1,000+. So,
well, that's all right.
It's because my green lights.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, subscribe to their channels, hit the bell button to be notified with more content with them guys and with us. And remember to vanquish that like button. Remember, all this stuff helps the algorithms. Leave comments in the comments section when we're done here. Come back to the show and leave some comments, because it helps algorithms, everybody. Whitey Wicked Workshop. Go check him out. I should have invited him on here, but didn't do it. Next time, Whitey. By the way, Whitey, we are leaving. We're not staying on another hour just for you. So yes, that is it. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks for being here. We love you guys. I don't know if we have an outro or not.
Here we go. I'll take care of it. Bye. Thank you everybody for being a part of the show. We appreciate you. Wheeze out.
Toodles.